Counterfeits serve a purpose. Lessons learned. Hi everyone, it's Maria Maumela. Thank you for joining me. Today I just wanted to share the lessons that I've learned from exes. Okay. Um, Counterfeits do serve a purpose. Um, for one, for me to refer to someone as a counterfeit, it means I myself was also a counterfeit. So I'm not pointing fingers here. Okay. I just wanted to share three three lessons that I've learned from counterfeits, and number four. Number four is just what I've learned previously. Okay. Number four is in brackets. So the first thing that I've learned, in no particular order, okay. I was in a relationship with this guy, and this guy taught me selflessness. Like, this guy taught me selflessness and generosity. Now, I've always seen myself as a generous person until I met this guy. One day I came across this guy. At that time, like, I had no phone, so we would speak through a landline, okay, at home. So I just came across him in town just by luck, and I was surprised to see him. Like, we got to speak for a bit. It was in the morning. It was in the morning. We were both going to work, and so he asked me, like, how have you been and everything. I'm like, no, I've been good and all of that. And then he's like, okay. And then he's like, do you have money? And he said, do you have money? What are you eating today for lunch? And I remember thinking, like I was really broke. I was really broke that month. And I think there was like perhaps like one more week before month end before I got paid. So it was like that time of the month. That month was like I was facing more month than money. I had more month than the money. Okay. I'm like, yo, Joe, I'm broke. And then he said to me, okay, just wait. And then he reached out for his wallet. And then he took out all the paper money out of his wallet. And I remember thinking, like, what on earth are you doing? And then he told me to put my hands together. And then he put out all the coins out of his wallet into my hand. And I'm like, what are you doing? What about you? Like, what are you gonna eat? Like, don't you need transport fare? It's like, no, don't worry. I'm a man. I've got plans and I've got friends. And I'm thinking, like, what? Like, I've never seen such a thing. And I'm like I was so moved. Like, I was like really surprised. Okay. So just like a lot of women with the different men that I've dated, as you know, I'm married young, so I never got to date a lot. But with the men that I dated, for a lot of them that I dated, I used to think, I think it happens with every woman, that when you date a guy, you're like, oh my gosh, I think he's the one. This could be the one. So it's things like this that makes you think that this person could be the one. Okay. So that's how it has been with me in different relationships. Like, I'd be like, this is the one. Okay, yeah, this is the one, and it doesn't work out. And I meet someone else, I'm like, this is the one, and it doesn't work out. What was different with the man I ended up getting married, my ex-husband, was that there was a there was a pattern. With the guys that I dated, I would say, I think this is the one. I think this is the one. But with my ex-husband, I was like, he's different. And I'm like, oh, that's different. Oh, that's like everything about him, or a lot of things about him were different. Okay, that's why I ended up marrying the man. Okay. Anyhow, back to the lessons learned. So, like, when he put all that money in my hand, like, I feel like where my heart was closed, it was suddenly opened. And it was then that I learned to be selfless and I learned to be giving. Okay. No one has ever shown me that generosity. Like, I didn't understand it. Okay. And then it so happened, I think it was a year later, when he was out of a job. I remember it was around the festive season. I actually called on him and I asked, like what was he doing for the festive season, and he told me he just lost his job and he was broke. And I'm like, well, let us meet up in town and just get to eat out, go to the park, we'll see what else we can do to keep ourselves busy. And it's like, okay, I'm up for that. And then understanding that he just lost his job, automatically in my mind I knew I have to allocate some money which I will give him for transportation and all of that. And so I got to meet up with him in town. And because I have seen him open his heart to me, and I just naturally understood. Naturally, I just knew like what I had to do to be supportive and to be loving to him. So I remember we got into this cafe. We went to see the food that was there. And after that, we went to sit down and we discussed what we were gonna eat. And then it's like, look, I don't have money. I'm not gonna buy you, like, I can't promise to even buy you food. I'm like, no, look, I got this. Like I said on the phone, like, I got this, okay? I told you, get yourself to town, and then I'm gonna make sure that you go home, okay? I'm gonna make sure that you have money to go home. That's what I told him. So it was the entire day, like it was like me was going to be who had to foot the bill. Okay, that was the agreement. So as we sat there at the cafe, I remember I actually reached out for my wallet. I did not even choose, like I didn't even count the money to say, okay, this is how much we'll be spending. After we had discussed what we would love to eat, it was then that I actually gave him my entire wallet like that. I know someone else was like, girl, you must be crazy. um, so now you give this man the entire wallet with your bank cards and your cash. Yes, I like I trusted him, like he had built that trust in me. And so I gave him the wallet. He's like, what? Like he used to joke around a lot. So when I gave him the wallet, he's like, what? You're giving me this entire wallet? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take it and run away with it. And then so he got up and he went and ordered food. And then he decided how much we were going to spend. And I knew like he was not going to take a cent from me. Like he never came into my life to take away from me. He was there to give. That's all he ever did. He always gave. When it was the festive season in South Africa, in December, people get a bonus, like a double pay. I know it's not always the case in all countries, but when he got his double, in fact, before he got his double pay, he would call me and let me know, like, look, on this day, I'm getting my double pay. I just want you to know that you and I are going shopping. I'm taking you to the salon. Like, he was that kind of a guy. And I've never had anyone like that. Like, I've never had anyone like that. So he got the food and then we ate. And I remember at the end of the day, when it was time for him to leave, he said to me, I need so much. Let's make an example. Like he just said to me, I need 36 Rand 50. That is all that I need. That is all that I need. Okay, so I knew like, okay, there you go. He was suffering from the alpha male syndrome. That's what I call it. Because sometimes these men may find it hard to receive help. And it's just nice when they just take the help because like if you are loving and supporting to your person when you are in need, they want to pour back to you, okay? No one wants to feel like they're just taking and taking and taking in their relationship without giving, okay? So he was that kind of a guy. That's how he would speak. So I'm like, okay, he even had to count the cents involved. And then I took in more money and I gave him. And then he took my wallet from my hands. And then he took the money that I had in my hand and he put it back. And he counted exactly that exact money that he wanted, that 36 Rand 50 or whatever. And then he said, this is the money that I need. And then he put it in his pocket. And I'm like, okay. And I remember we hugged and then he got into the taxi. But by then, when he gave me the wallet, I took out some money that I had planned to give him. So as he got into the taxi, it was then that I slid the money in his pocket because he's already going in. There's no chance for him to pull it out. So he felt my hand go into his pocket at the back and he continued on to sit. And then he said, I remember him sitting and I went by the window where he was seated. And then I could see him reaching into his pocket. And then I could see his face, like he was just looking at me. And then he just smiled and shook his head. And he was just like pointing at me. you know. And I was just happy to be able to bless him like that, okay? So he taught me generosity. And I know someone might say, well, that shouldn't apply to any guy. That's true. If that is the attitude you're going to have for different men, chances are they will take advantage of you. But like I said, it's someone I was in a relationship. For me, there's a difference between dating someone and being in a relationship with them. Like for me, I never was one to waste time. Like if I date a guy and I feel like, okay, this guy is childish, like I'm out of here. When I dated a guy and I felt like, okay, I like immediately I sensed foolishness, like I was out of there. And I think that is the reason why I was the first to get married among my friends. Like I was always like the mom kind of character. Like I was always the advisor, like you wasting time with that man. Like leave him, you know. Oh, that's a good one. Hold on to him. So I was always that advisor. You know, in a group of friends, there's always that motherly one. So I was that one. So when it came to relationships, they came to me. Okay. So I tried to take a lot of my advice. Even to this day, I try to take my own advice, okay? Which is not always easy, by the way, okay? So, yes, this guy taught me selflessness and this guy taught me generosity in a way that I never could have been, you know? So now I understand, like, if I am ever with my person, um, and there's a need for money, like I will be able to help because my heart got opened. I got to see, like, love was shown to me, so I'm able to give that love. Like generosity was given to me, so I'm able to also be generous. Okay. Yeah, like I said, there's a difference between dating and being in a relationship. When you're dating, you're able to see this person how they are, and then you decide, fine, let's just now I'm ready to be in a relationship with this person. Even though there may be titles from get go, some men will give you a title from get go, but it's still on the both of you to decide, like, is this moving forward or not, or whether you should just take a breather and try again perhaps another year later. Okay, perhaps if the circumstances are not favorable, whether it be like what the studies, the person needed more time to study, or another person had more work commitments, whatever. Okay, so back to the topic, lessons learned from exes. The second one, I've given this example already in my past videos, but I'll give this example again. Now, different relationships can bring about different sides of us. Personally, naturally, I do not like arguing. I do not like arguing. Um, like I prefer for us to just speak and try to find a solution properly. And when we don't find a solution, we can just leave it like that. Okay. And that was another way we sorted things out with my ex. That the lesson that I learned from this guy, it I was able to take it into my marriage, and it helped us not to be in a place where like us quarreling was very very rare. Like it could be something that happened like twice a year, if not once a year. So it was something that was very very rare. Okay. So, okay, I got involved with this guy, but for whatever reason, me and this guy would always get into an argument and we would argue. Oh my gosh, and we would argue. And I remember our voices would be like going higher and higher, like trying to outspeak each other until one day this guy decided to sort out this whole mess. So one day we were arguing and I saw him like stop, he just stopped talking and let me speak. So I was the only one making a noise. And after that, he's like, hey, hey, hey. And I realized that he wanted to speak. I'm like, oh my gosh, what now? And it's like, look, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm wrong and you are right, guys. For someone to say they're sorry, it's enough to calm down the situation. But for them to say they are wrong and you are right, I'm like, I could marry this one. Yeah, I could marry this guy. So that's how it ended everything. And I was like, oh, I was taken I back a bit, I was ready to argue, I was ready. I had my armor on, so I had to like lay the armor down, like, oh, okay, so we're not fighting, okay? It happened again. We were in an argument, and what do you know? Instead of him letting his voice to rise, he just calmed himself down. I literally saw him breathing. I saw him take a deep breath, and he looked at me and he said, "I'm so sorry. I am wrong, and you are right." And I'm like, okay. And then there was peace, and I'm like, wow, this relationship is starting to be more peaceful. Like I'm enjoying this relationship. Okay. Until one day I was at home, and as I was busy doing my chores, then it hit me like, oh my gosh, the last argument, he was on the right and I was on the wrong. But what really disturbed me was that it was obviously, it was like so obvious, like I was the one on the wrong, but I didn't see it. So I thought like, oh my gosh. So when he said, I'm sorry, I'm wrong and you're right, he knew like he was on the right. Like it hit me like a ton of bricks on the head. So I felt so bad. I felt so bad. So bad. It's like, you know, I could have taken the phone and called him, okay, and just apologize. But even then, like my pride, my pride wouldn't let me. My pride wouldn't let me. Okay, judge me if you want. I just thought, you know what? It's in the past. I'm gonna solve this. Okay. Next time we got into an argument, look, me and this guy didn't take long to argue, okay? So it didn't take long for me to put into practice what I wanted to. We got into an argument, and I remember our voices were beginning to rise, and I remember thinking, I'm going to catch this guy this time. And I remember I had to breathe, like I literally had to calm myself down. And at that time, he was the only one talking. And of course, when you're the only one talking, you keep on talking and talking because you're assuming the other person is listening and finally seeing the light. So he was busy talking, and I'm like, oh, look, forgive me. Oh my gosh, my bad. What was I thinking? I'm so sorry. Look, I'm wrong, and you're right. And he was surprised, like, oh, okay, all right, okay. And then there was peace. And then what do you know? A few days later, we were back at it. We were arguing. I caught myself again, trying to lose it, and I calmed myself down. I also like took a deep breath, like he did, and then I'm like, look, I'm so sorry. I'm wrong, and you are right. And like I said it, like I meant it, like guys, for real, for real, for real. This guy was teaching me to choose peace over conflict, to choose happiness over being right. Okay. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I remember he paused, looking into my eyes, and it's like, Buleng, you have grown. Okay, he used to call me by my first name. Not many people use that name. Okay, so that's what I learned. Now, number three. This one is very interesting. Um, this guy, like I've always been matured. Like I've always been more mature than my age, and I've always been polite, but this guy helped me to like grow beyond that. I remember one day I was angry and I hung up on him. And then he called the following day and he's like, we was just talking normally. He was not even saying anything, he wasn't even angry. And after a while, it's like, you see what happened yesterday? It's like, I'm like, what happened yesterday? He said, you hung up on me. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't tell me he wants to bring it to the table. I'm the sort of a person who, like, I can forgive things. Like, it's not everything we need to bring to the table and iron out. Like, I forgive like that. So I usually just prefer someone who also has the heart to just forgive. So that is not everything that must be put to the table. You don't have to always tell me, you did this, you did that. Even things I know I did wrong and I feel bad. Like, you don't have to put them on the table. Like, I forgive. So by forgiving, I'm teaching the other person, like, I'll also wrong you, and I trust that you'll forgive me, so that it's only important things that we bring to the table. Okay. Um, look, I'm an advocate for saying sorry. Okay, don't think that I'm saying I'm a person who doesn't need an apology. There are times where it's just nice to just get a sorry. Okay, I'm just saying in general, especially for someone who's been married. One of the things you need to learn when you get married is to forgive. And you need to forgive and forgive and forgive, because the person might do things wrong. They might say things in a wrong way. They might just rub you the wrong way. So you must always have that heart to forgive them. And you don't want to be bringing everything to the table, because you yourself are not perfect. You don't want them to be bringing everything to the table. Like, I don't like how you did that. I don't like how you said that. Okay. Um, so now he was correcting me on this hanging up of the phone. It was like, why did you hang up the phone on me? No, it didn't say, why did you hang up the phone on me? He said, concerning what you did yesterday, you can't do that again. I do not hang up on you. It doesn't matter how angry I get. I never ever hang up on you. And I ask that you never again hang up on me. Like, it's not the way to handle problems. And come to think about it, it's not the way to speak to anybody. Like, you should not do that to anybody at all. Like, it shows a lack of control of emotions. And I realized like it was a childish behavior, but when I was doing it, I was angry, and I just felt like, look, we are a couple and you make me angry, I'm gonna hang up on you so you get the point. So he was like, that like, that's not how we're gonna do things around here. So I respected that. Okay, I respected that. And it's good for us when we're in a relationship to communicate clearly behaviors that we do not tolerate. Because what you tell your partner not to do, it's obviously what you yourself do not do. But this guy also, he introduced me to I could say, the professional world on how to treat people, because I got to meet professional people, and I learned politeness and courtesy in a whole new way. Okay, like, I got to meet a lot of successful men in his circle, and I realized that there was just a natural courtesy and politeness, the kindness that they showed. Like, these guys were so, look, I met both men and women, but as a woman, I just wanted to focus a bit from what I saw as a woman looking at these men. The kindness, the courtesy that they had. I mean, if you were not self-aware, you would think that these men were in love with you. Like, the kindness, just the kindness, and them going an extra mile to help you, to make sure you're comfortable. Like it like like it was something else. Like, it was something else. And having being exposed to such a world, like, you realize that this guy's so kind, he's so polite with me. Like, it makes you, even if your standards for your own personal relationships were low, these men were just challenging you to, like, lift up the bar, literally, you know. With these associates, some of them I got to know on a closer level than others. Like, like, if you were to contact a person, let's say I were to call the person and they were in a meeting, then perhaps if the phone is ringing and they're not picking up, I did not trip about it, because I knew, like, when the meeting was finished, I would get an SMS. I would say, look, I was in a meeting, I will call you within an hour. Like, do you see that, like, the kind of behaviors? And then you go and then you find yourself now dating a person. He's not running a country, but when you call him, he's not picking up the call. And then he wants to respond to you 4 hours later, 4 hours later. And there you are. You've been introduced into this world with people who, they are very busy, but they have the courtesy, the politeness to just send you an SMS like, hey, how you doing? I hope you well. I saw your missed call. I cannot talk to you now, but I'll get back to you. And then you go date a person who doesn't have the courtesy to just respond. They just then you go get someone who's just on and off, hot and cold. So it's like, automatically you just get into that, I don't it's not I don't want to say relationship. You just get yourself into that union or whatever, what into that dating period, and you just want out, because you are afraid that if I should take this person one day and bring this person to my circle, they would see how poorly he treats me, and they would think that perhaps I should go see a psychiatrist They will, they might even just volunteer you, like, look, maybe you should just go find someone to talk about, like, this person doesn't treat you right. Go see someone, go see someone. Go talk it over with someone, like, really, like, mm-mm. So dealing with such people, the courtesy, the kindness. So it's just it was just so mind. It was just I want to say mind blowing. Okay, it was mind blowing, in that it made me to look at things so differently and to expect so much for myself. And the guy who introduced me to this world, he was exactly like that. He's the one that taught me not to be hanging up on people, and he told me to respect people's time and not to play the game. You know how other people want to play, hi, how are you, like, child. It's just better to just say hello, how you doing, and then tell the people exactly what you want. Okay, because like when you talk like, hi, how are you, okay, I wanted to ask you, it's like you are bored and you're looking for entertainment, or it's like you are bored. Sorry, I just see a call coming in. It's like you are bored looking for entertainment, or see, now I just got interrupted. I'm so sorry. I just got disturbed by this call. It's like you are bored, looking for entertainment, or you have time on your hands and you're not respecting the other person's time. Okay. So things like that just make you want to grow and be a better person. Okay. Wow, this person is determined. Let me just take this call. I'm sorry about the interruption. And for the kingdom men who may be listening to this message, there's nothing attractive about playing games, but this also goes to the women as well. This thing of I just got a call, I respond 4 hours later. It's like the person is showing you the coming attractions. Like when I marry you, like, expect me to respond to you like years later. Like, you don't do that. It's little things like that that are little foxes that steal the joy of being in a relationship. Because, like, who goes for hours and hours without checking their phone? Even if you're driving in a long distance, perhaps every 2 to 3 hours you would just check your phone. Some people even check their phones hourly. So it's completely unattractive to be ignoring someone, because here you are dealing with other people. They don't ignore you, and the person that matters most to you doesn't give you half the respect, half the courtesy, half the kindness that other men give you. It's like it sort of paints the person in a not so good light. Like, if other women are showing more respect to your men than you do, it sort of paints you in a bad way. Okay. So the last one, what I learned. This is not what I learned from an ex. It's just something that I had to learn in my kingdom marriage journey. Okay, and it's just a habit that I just started now because I did not know, like, how to deal with things. The thing is, anytime my kingdom spouse make me angry, I would block him. Like, it does anything that makes me angry, I would block him. He says anything out of line, I would block him. Like, if he says anything that makes me angry, or he does anything that makes me angry, I'd block him. Okay. It was only when he actually addressed it, okay, and he was asking me, so should he, he said to me, like, when I block him, I can block him for so long that I might call and realize that he was actually dead and buried. And I told him that no, he would never be dead and buried without me knowing about it. I would have felt it. Okay, that's what I said, but I actually did take a note of that. Okay, I actually did take a note of that, and it's a good thing. Um, for us to be able to tell the other person what we tolerate and what we'll not tolerate. I know it's actually uncomfortable for someone to actually tell you, like, look, what you did here was wrong. What you did here was just unacceptable. But in a nice way, in a calm way. Like, I do not feel that you handle things the right way. If at all possible, try other ways to handle the matter. Like, do not block, do not do this. Like, it's good to be open, okay? So yeah, that's another thing that's awkward about dealing with another person, is having someone correct you on your behaviors. Like, it's, yeah, it's awkward, but it's good that we grow and we learn, okay? So yeah, let us be open to correct the mistakes that our spouses point to us, that our people point to us, that our husbands or wives point to us, okay? Whatever your situation is, okay? So yes, these are the things I wanted to share that I actually learned from previous relationships. Now, I would have noted more than this, but as you can see, just 4 points. The video is already this long, so I choose to end the video here. So thank you guys. God bless.